You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Well, let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Monday, 26th day of February, 2018. And the market is still on fire. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you spent some quality time with the family. I tipped my hat at you in church Sunday. Don't know if you saw it, but boy, I'm sure glad you're here today. Now, if you are returning, welcome back. If you're here for the first time, a special CFRN welcome to you. We are in our second decade of broadcast history, so do grab your day planner and pencil us in for the next decade. All right? We're going to move quick. As you can see, these are last week's weekly trading zones up on the chart. If you cannot see the chart, you're going, what chart? This chart. Go to our homepage at cfrn.net. On the right-hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. You'll be registered in 30 seconds. You'll be able to see the charts and the chat box through the end of the month. March 1st, got to do it all over again. Good news is you only do it once per month, okay? And that gives you one-click access every day of the month. Or you can go to youtube.com/CFRN, we broadcast, /CFRN/live. We broadcast a live stream there during the broadcast each day. Bookmark that page and you will have one-click access. All right? So there we go. Now, everybody knows how to see the chart. Last night on the Concierge Trade Alerts, in fact, now's as good a time as any. Grab your favorite screen grabber and grab that, okay? Those are the alerts that went out last night, the Concierge Trade Alerts. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. All right. Now, we said to consider buying 27.56 given the opportunity. The opportunity was given. The first move up was 11 points, $550 per contract available. But we know that important prices and important areas are almost always tested. So after we ran up and hit the zone 27.67, last week's zone, to the tick. Now keep in mind, on the Sunday night Globex Open, last week's zones are still very important. They have carryover power, which runs into Monday, Tuesday, sometimes even as far as Wednesday. Partners get the new zones every Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. I usually reveal this week's zones to the community at large on Thursday. Now, price got back below the trigger at 27.56, took off, and now it's gone about a little over 12 points. And so currently this second move up would be about $600 per contract available. Okay, now important to note, we never get out at the swing high or swing low. Why? Because we trail our stop, and if you trail your stop, you're always going to leave a little something on the table. Here, as we're making this move up, this 67.68, this weekly trading zone from last week, seems like a pretty good target. Okay, now I suppose you could have put in a hard target at 27.67 for that reason, and the swing high was 27.67 1/4, so you would have gotten filled. Still would have got out at the exact swing high. See what I'm saying? You'd have missed it by a tick. Now, also, if you had a hard target at 27.67, it could have ran there and not traded through it, not gone 67 1/4, and it could have actually turned around, ran the other way, and left you standing at the altar. Not fun. That's why you trail the stop, so that whatever you have earned on the way up or earned on the way down, you don't have to give it back. Okay? All right. So that's the S&P, and we'll talk about the other markets here momentarily. Michael is going to come in and give us a recap of what happened in the live training room. First, I'm going to run through the numbers around the globe very quickly, just to put all things in perspective. I want to extend my thank you to all of those who participated in the CT Global, the Christian Traders pre-sale, who got your address in this weekend. Okay, we are working furiously. I've been working all weekend to sort them, match them up, and get transfers made. We did a major transfer last week, and a lot of you saw the messages that I put up at emini.cfrn.net. You followed the instructions, you got the wallet, you sent us the address, and so this afternoon, I had planned to do this morning, but just so much going on, I'll get those transferred this afternoon. That is the plan. And if you are within the sound of my voice and you participated in the pre-sale and you have not yet sent us your wallet address, we cannot transfer your tokens until we have the address. I want to get as many of the pre-sale folks transferred as possible before we begin open market trading.
Yeah, that reminds me, Dwayne, I gotta go fill something out in that spreadsheet so that we know the ones that we've done already and the ones that...
Thank you, Michael. All right, let's take a look here at the markets around the world. We'll start in the U.S. We'll start with the cash markets, as we do. Okay, we'll get to the futures in a moment. The chart you were just looking at is futures, but let's run through the cash markets. Here in the U.S., the Dow is currently up 290 points. It's a little over 1%. NASDAQ is up 55 points, 0.75%. S&P 500 up 21 points. That's 0.75%. And the Russell 2000 is up a point. That gives us a green day so far in the U.S. of A. In the commodity basket, I see green there as well. Crude oil up 57 cents, trading 64.12 last. That's a little over 1%. Gold up $2.29, trading 13.3260 last. As we go to the spin the globe and go to the Asian markets, green day there. The Nikkei closed up 260 points, a little over 1%. Shanghai was up 41 points, 1.25%. And the Hang Seng up 231 points, 0.75%. Will it continue as we spin the globe to Europe? By jingos, it's a green day all around. FTSE closed up 45 points, over 0.5%. The DAX closed up 43 points, and the CAC tacked on 27 points, putting it up over 0.5% on the day. Green in the US, green in Asia, green in Europe, and green in the commodity basket. I can't remember, honestly, the last time everything lined up oh so green. Now, we have a chat box for anyone that's new. Any questions that you have, no one sees what you type except Michael and myself. If you put a question in the chat box, we will respect your anonymity and refer to you by your first name, and we will do our very best to give you a good answer to your question. All right? And with that, we'll push off to Michael if he's ready, and he can come in and daze us and amaze us with the recap of what happened in the live training room. If you're not currently on the trial and you haven't taken the trial, Michael's going to show you how you can be in the live training room tomorrow, learning our strategy, using our platform and indicators. No credit card required.
No credit card. We don't need that stuff.
I can see your screen, so
Excellent.
It's all yours.
Excellent.
I'll be here when you're done.
Okay. Where is it? Our home page is, well, we'll just do it this way. Here we go. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Excuse me. Today is Monday, the 26th day of February 2018. 26th day of February 2018. Okay. Hey, look at that. See that right down there, Dwayne? MetaMask C words. So it was MetaMask. I was right. Anyway, today, if you have not taken a free trial with us, and you want to take a free trial with us, then you simply need to go to the home page here at cfrn.net, right up here at the top where it says sign up for the CFRN Live Training Room. 100% free trials, user indicators, learn our strategy. Click here. When you click there, you will be brought to this page right here. On this page, all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Then you hit the submit button. Once you hit the submit button, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click that link, you will not get a trial because we don't know until you do that. All right, so excuse me. Here we go. Today we lost 6 ticks on the euro. We made 15 ticks on crude, 17 ticks on gold, and 2 ticks on the ES. That put us up $307.50 per contract. That is one contract for 2 hours this morning. Okay. Today it took 5 minutes and 1 trade to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $100 a contract, and we took a total of 11 trades. So on the month now, we're at $4,533. That's over 16 days, averaging $283 per day. On the year, we're up $7,052. That's over 35 days, averaging $201 per day. Okay. That's it for the spreadsheet. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you can read all the CFTC risk disclosure stuff down at the bottom. Now, let's get into what actually happened. Okay. This is gold. In the pre-market, it was like a picture-perfect trade right here. We had a few of those today that bounced off the BBC. But our first trade was right in here. We picked up our goal for the day and 10 ticks on that trade. The next trade, we could have picked up another 10 ticks, but I wasn't paying attention, and we ended up getting a break even. The one after that, we got 5 ticks right there to put us at plus 15, and 2 ticks there to put us at plus 17. And that was our day in the gold. There was just another short right over here in the gold during the break. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. All right, another picture perfect trade right there. But the first one that we did here on the euro was right there. We got plus 2 on that. Then we missed this one, picture perfect right there. All the rules. Step 1, MA1 crosses. Step 2, price pulls away. Step 3, it pulls back and touches the BBC. Step 4, down here in the slingshot, the cycle is red and below the green line. Bang, right there, just like that. Okay, the next trade was right here. We stopped out on that. That put us at minus 6. Then we stopped out again. That put us at minus 14. And then we started picking it back up here. We picked up 8 ticks here to put us back to minus 6. Then we missed a trade there. We missed a trade there. And it looks like we missed another one right there. During the break, there was a shorting opportunity right there. And that was it. And that was it on the euro. We ended with minus 6 on the euro. Crude oil. Let's go back here. Okay. And crude had a nice run up right here. On the first trade, we picked up 10 ticks right there. Then we missed something. Then we picked up 5 more ticks right there to put us at plus 15. Then we missed a couple of opportunities in here. I think there was another one that we missed in here. There's that one and that one for sure. And then the slingshot started to get messed up and preventing us from trading. And then there was a long trade from right there going into the high of the day. That was during the break. So we ended with plus 15 on the crude. On the ES, it was, let's just go back here and take a look at it. You see this choppy mess right here? That was nasty. There was one trade right here before all that choppiness started that we had an opportunity at. There was one right here that should have gone down to the zone, but it didn't. It turned right back up. There was one right here coming away from the zone, and then there was one that we actually did here where we got 2 ticks profit. Okay, since then, yeah, there was a short right there that would have been a break even. Then it changed directions, and looks like there was a long right here that you'd still be in going into the high of the day. Okay, okay, back to the spreadsheet. Again, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is Monday, the 26th day of February 2018. And we lost 6 ticks on the euro. We made 15 ticks on crude. We made 17 ticks on gold. And 2 ticks on the ES to get us up to 307.50 this morning. Okay, today it took 5 minutes and 1 trade to get to the goal for the day. And we took a total of 11 trades. So on the month now, we're up $4,533. That's over 16 days, averaging $283 per day. On the year, we're up $7,052. That's over 35 days, averaging $201 per day. Okay. All right. Here it is. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the home page here where it says sign up for the CFRN live training room. 100% free trials. User indicators on our strategy. Click here. When you click there, you'll be brought to this page. On this page, all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Hit the submit button, and you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay? If you don't click the confirmation link, we don't know that you took the trial. Okay? And that's it. With that, we can pass it back. Hang on, let me find what I was looking at the other day. Ah, there it is. We can pass it back to Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park, Scorpion Gulch. These are pictures of South Mountain, by the way.
Yes.
Fabulous Phoenix, Arizona.
Yes, it is.
See that? All these things, and I'm guessing the Incas made or something like that.
All right, I'll grab the. You keep going. I'll grab the charts in just a second.
Okay. I'm just showing pictures of South Mountain.
Okay, good.
It is America's largest city park. You see those? Those are tumbleweeds.
Bigger than Central Park.
Yes. Oh, I'm sure. There's much more space out there. And probably much less populated. And it's a pretty golf course in the middle of all that desert.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what it looked like in Idaho too, where I lived. There's a lot of horses.
You can't run, you can't trot, you gotta walk it.
Yeah, they do that. They do that here too. They don't do it in Massachusetts though. In Massachusetts they say it's too much of an insurance risk. But here they do it. We've gone, out in the mountains many times. Even in the snow. Yeah.
Well, I guess we haven't had a chance yet to. I guess this happened Friday after the show, was it? When did they announce the passing of Billy Graham? Maybe it was Thursday. Maybe we did talk about it on Friday.
I don't know, but they were given warnings at the airport in Charlotte yesterday because Billy Graham's memorial is right there outside the airport. They were warning everybody that there's going to be just incredible traffic and the airport's going to be really crazy.
Yeah, we did talk about it. He was, when I was growing up, I know I already talked about this, but when I compare then to now, when he would do his annual crusade, it was televised. It was like 3 nights, I think. Middle of the week, 9 p.m. Eastern, prime time. They would preempt normal, regular prime time programming. Whatever show you watched back then, Big Valley, Ponderosa, I don't know, whatever those shows were, they preempted them for Billy Graham. Can you imagine the uproar that would come from the people today if their favorite television program did not come on tonight because some preacher was going to be there, exhorting
preempted by a
to
religious program,
a arena or a stadium filled with people. He was a guy that preached love, the love of God. He didn't preach condemnation. He didn't preach fire and brimstone. He didn't preach you're all sinners and going to hell.
So he wasn't Catholic.
Yeah, right. Right. He preached, that's good. He preached, he also wasn't Church of God, Pentecostal holiness, obviously. He preached that God loves you and you can't escape his love, and so why don't you just surrender and fall in love with him today? I know this makes some of you men feel a little queasy, but we are the bride of Christ, so deal with it. I guess. I don't know. Don't know what else to say. I guess I better grab the charts.
Yeah.
I've not communicated with John this morning, so I don't know if he's in the room or not.
I'll go check. No, he is not in the room at this point.
Okay. And when I finish this Radidio show, where will you be?
I will probably be at a celebratory lunch. I think.
Nope. we got some work to do, so
I
let me
figured
know when you're available.
I have the screen that this is. Hang on, is this it? No, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. The one.
I've got things up and running. We just have to.
Yeah, you have the charts anyway.
We have to do some stuff. You and I. So.
Good. Okay.
I do wish all this calls.
All right. Well then, I'll go do this, and I'll be back a little later on. Do you have any mentoring sessions this afternoon? That you know?
Probably. Let me look. Let me see what's going on. You guys see the picture? Oh, did your Nano S come?
Not yet.
Mine came yesterday.
Did it? Well, it'll probably get here today.
Well, it's guaranteed 2 days because I used my Prime account to buy it.
Okay. Well, if I'm not here when they come, they usually just stick it in my mailbox.
Yeah. They we found it leaning up against the front door.
Yes.
All right, just trying to get. I have to open. It's a long story, but here comes the. Now I can check the calendar to see if I have any. Well, there we go.
Now this is the thing that I think this is what you were wanting, Dwayne. I'm going to take the charts.
I've got it. I've got everything I need. I'm locked and loaded. Yes, we
good.
We both have, but we've got to be there together so that I can kind of explain to you what's what and all that.
Okay, good.
And
you can show me how to do it.
Yeah, well, I've got 2 mentoring sessions.
Okay, so I'll just text you. I'll just text you number 1.
And I got one with. I don't know. Oh, David A. Okay. So anyway, so that's where I'll be from 4 to 5:30 Eastern. Oh, congratulations! If you want to make that public or not, it's entirely up to you.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow.
Okay.
We can do it tomorrow.
Right.
But that's why we're going to the celebratory lunch.
All right.
So you didn't think that it was just a normal lunch.
Order mineral water because we got a lot of work to do.
Okay. All right.
All right, my friend. Right. I don't know if you're hanging or running or what you're. Oh, give me a recap of the recap, please.
Today it took 5 minutes and 1 trade to get the goal for the day. We're at $100 a contract. 5 minutes. That's the way you want to start out a Monday.
5 minutes, 1 trade.
Yep.
I'm sending John a quick message. What time? So I'll know when to look over there. It's sometimes difficult.
Yeah, he's not there right now.
I know he's got a lot to say because he's because it's a big day. So all right, one thing I wanted to do real quick, and you might want to see this before you go, and then you can giddy up. Let's do candles. We got to change the default on that. Okay, so we spiked up to almost 12,000 the other day. Then we fell back below 10,000, and we're sitting right now at 10,151.40. Okay, so the battle is still being fought. Now the market has just created a new obstacle that it has to overcome, which is this swing high right here. Which, if you follow the dotted line across to the left, you'll see that red same old, same. I asked you on a text the other day. You didn't respond. Do you remember Mork of Mork and Mindy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember,
I remember.
Remember his saying, "Nano, nano."
Yes, I remember that too.
Okay, so that's why my text said your nano is on the whale. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Something. Let me see when you actually sent that, because
You
it
were
was
on a plane or something.
I was probably, because I was on a plane yesterday and the day before yesterday. So.
Okay. Straight from our news site, cryptodailyinfo.com. We'll just look at the headlines. Uzbekistan is going to legalize Bitcoin and support developers. Bitcoin is more popular with checks than the euro. Bitcoin spikes $700 higher in sudden move, and Georgia lawmakers propose tax amendment that allows Bitcoin payments.
Didn't Arizona already approve that? You can pay your taxes with Bitcoin?
Yep, they sure did. Venezuela's Maduro authorizes the Petro cryptocurrency. Bitcoin startup backer Bank to the Future completes a $33 million ICO. More high schools need to teach cryptocurrency. I can understand that. And I think those are the major headlines. Let's see if I missed any. Oh, women in cryptocurrencies push back against blockchain bros. Bitcoin mining giant Bitmain raked in $3 to $4 billion in profits last year. Parabolic Bitcoin price will return, but after how long? Analysts decide. And that's all the news that is news for the moment in the world of crypto. So glad I was able to share that with you.
Excellent.
All right,
Thank you
buddy.
for that.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
We'll see you.
Talk to you
See you in a little while.
All right. Okay, I need somebody to put an X in the chat box so I can access it. There we go. Super duper. Thank you very much, all of you. Okay. Now we get to the charts and the alerts and what's happening in the markets here in just a moment. We did have I hadn't done it in a while, but I sent out a tweet and I put it on our Google Plus blog, which is emini.cfrn.net. And ES Trade Alert. Price pulls back to the BBC, which is currently touching last week's trading zone at 2737/2738. And price firms in that area. It could be the start of a bull leg that takes us as high as 2748/2749. A potential 10-point leg. Use appropriate risk as taught. If we consolidate there and start to move higher, next target is 2767/2768 for a total potential move of 30 points. Hard stop, or it's not a trade. It's a gamble. If it comes together for you, let me know how you did. As you can see, we did, in fact, come back. We went from, let's see, this is where we were trying to make the pullback. We did not actually make the pullback. What time did I post that? Tell me the time. It should. So it's a 17 hours ago. That's not, I don't think that's accurate, because it was late last night. There's only 24 hours in a day. we'll sort that out. Okay, so what we were looking for price to move to 27.48.49 from here, and then up to 67.68, which it did. And then I think on the Twitter, let me look, I think we might have even I think we extended it out to a third target, which could still be in play overhead. Let me have a look at it. And if you didn't see the tweet, or you didn't see the post on emini.cfrn.net, or Google Plus blog, you still had a chance to take advantage of the Concierge Trade Alert. Trying to get to my homepage on Twitter. Seems a bit difficult today. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, this is how it read on the Twitter. And that says 11 hours ago. Now that sounds a little more like it. Yeah. Okay. So, SP 500 traders consider being long above 27.56. First target 27.61. Second target 27.66. Final target 27.81. Final target is reached. Trail a stop to 2800 and then tighter. Realistically, for this type of trade, your stop loss should be 27.40. That's 16 points or $800 per contract. Does the potential upside warrant the risk? If you make it to the third target, then yes. Potential profit is 25 points with a 16-point risk. Not a 2-to-1, but not bad. Not everyone can trade that deep. 27.48 gives you an 8-point stop loss and a high probability trade. So the long was at 27.56, which is right there. So did those two match up? Yeah. Did we make it to the third target yet? No. Now, if you got long at 27.56 and you put your stop at 27.48, that was an 8-point stop, $400 risk. Okay, again, not everybody's comfortable with that, but based on the potential upside, you have to decide, am I okay with that? All right, so it ran once, came back, did it again. Looks like it's headed for that further upside target and targets. In fact, we have overhead, I should probably put it on there. This is from last week, because these are last week zones that you're looking at. 27.67. From now, again, this is last week. $28.17. There's 18 and 17. Okay, but all we were looking for is 2,800 is how we put it on Twitter. If you don't follow us on Twitter, you should. Twitter.com/CFRN. Just click follow. We also are at Twitter.com/CryptoDailyInfo. Twitter.com/CryptoPodcasts. And there's more, but I can't remember them at the moment. So we'll let that go. The world of Donald Trump, which would be our world too. This is, I guess, a really big deal. I've been so busy over the weekend I didn't hear about it. Ivanka Trump, the president's eldest daughter and top White House advisor, says she does not believe the approximately 20 women who have accused her father of sexual misconduct. In an interview with NBC News while in South Korea for the Winter Olympics, Trump told Peter Alexander that the question of whether she believed her father's denials of wrongdoing was inappropriate and that she had a right as a daughter to believe her father. I think it's a pretty inappropriate question to ask a daughter if she believes the accusers of her father when he's affirmatively stated there's no truth to it, she said. I don't think that's a question you would ask many other daughters. Do you think they would have asked Malika, or I can't remember their names, Barack's daughters? Would they have asked her? Would they have asked them that kind of a question? Now, I understand there's an age difference, but she added, I believe my father, I know my father, I think I have that right as a daughter to believe my father. Trump's criticism of the question sparked immediate backlash from reporters who argued that as a senior White House staffer, she should be accountable to the public on all issues concerning President Trump. And you know what? I kind of agree with that. Okay? In being a senior White House advisor, she's taken off the daughter hat for a moment and put on a public servant hat. In that capacity, her loyalty lies more with the American people than it does with her father. And if she's not comfortable with that, she needs to take off the political hat and put the daughter hat back on and do something different. CNN's Jake Tapper, not one of my favorites, tweeted, trying to figure out what part of this is inappropriate. She works for the taxpayers, says she focuses on women's issues, was at the interview because she went to the Olympics to represent the USA, is an adult, and has spoken publicly about accusations against others. A Washington Post political reporter, Jenna Johnson, said the White House had stressed Ivanka Trump's role as a top West Wing official on her visit to South Korea, where she led the U.S. delegation at Sunday's closing ceremony and met with the country's prime minister and other top government officials. The White House went out of its way to make clear that Ivanka Trump traveled to South Korea as a senior advisor to the president, not a first daughter, but as soon as she said with a difficult question, suddenly she's a daughter. Okay? Well, I just gave you my feelings on that, and so she's probably going to have to fend some tough questions. But let's back out and take a bigger picture look. What about Bill Clinton? Now, there may have been some interviews with his daughter asking her questions about her father's dalliances. Now, what Trump supposedly did was before he became president. He was a private citizen in the United States of America, what they would call a consenting adult, yeah? And a free agent, and he may have violated, the bonds of holy matrimony, but he has to answer to God for that, not you and I. It's what he does in office as our duly elected president. That's what matters. That's what he's accountable to us for, or should be accountable. Was Bill Clinton held accountable? No. In fact, he became somewhat of a hero among the bros, and suddenly everybody's smoking cigars, Let me just publicly say I did not enjoy Bill Clinton's presidency. I know some of you have heard that statement before. You've heard it said a little different way. But just so there's no misunderstanding, I did not enjoy Bill Clinton's presidency. And with history to guide me, I like it even less at this point. And I'm curious what you folks think about this deputy who was charged with protecting the school and the children and everyone there who didn't. I understand fear. I understand being frozen. You know the old saying, most police officers never unholster their gun in the line of duty. Or maybe it's they never fire a shot. But I almost think the statistic I read was they never unholster their gun in the line of duty. I don't know. Donald Trump today said he would have run into the deadly Florida high school shooting even if he didn't have a weapon. Now, would he or wouldn't he? I guess we'll never know. But I'd like to think that our commander-in-chief, I'd like to think that he would have. Now, I know the Secret Service wouldn't let it. Did he have the right... Does Donald Trump have the right stuff that would have sent him into that school, as he says, without a weapon? I tend to lean towards yes. Trump said in a meeting with state governors, I really believe I'd run in there even if I didn't have a weapon. He added, I really believe I would have. You never know until you're tested. Trump was responding to reports that Deputy Scott Peterson, who resigned on Thursday amid pressure from the Broward County Police Department, never entered the school building in which the shooting was taking place, even though he had a weapon. He was the one person who had a weapon, as far as I know, except for the shooter. What if every teacher in every classroom was armed? What if the principal was armed? Do you think this guy would have come in and done this? I don't think so. And if he had tried, how far would he have gotten? I think a lot of people would still be alive today. Trump called Peterson's behavior disgusting. He also criticized the lack of response by law enforcement officials who had received multiple tips about the 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz prior to the shooting. I mean, it just keeps coming out. Everyone knew, or not everyone, but many in law enforcement knew that this young man was troubled. I mean, he said right on the internet, bold as day, I'm going to become a professional school shooter. What else can that mean? The only thing worse, Trump said, than the guy who didn't rush in the way he was supposed to do, that was his job, his duty. He was charged to protect the students and the teachers and everyone at that school. The only worse job is that they didn't nab this Nicholas Cruz prior to the shooting. Well, again, until someone breaks a law, does something wrong, there's not much you can do. Kind of like domestic violence. You know it's coming. You know somebody's going to get hurt, and seriously. But until somebody does get hurt or killed, the police's hands are tied. They can't really do much. Yeah, you can get an order of protection, but that's just a piece of paper. And if the perp violates the order of protection, you dial 911. And 15 minutes later, the police show up, and then they call the coroner. Yeah, not good. The school resource officer was behind a stairwell wall, just standing there. He had his gun drawn, and he was just pointing it at the building. Shots started going off inside, and you could hear them going off over and over again. Since the shooting, Trump has proposed a variety of measures to combat gun violence, including stronger background checks, raising the age at which people can buy guns to 21, eliminating bump stocks, which were not even used in this particular shooting, and arming teachers in the classroom. That's it right there. Now, let's just keep in mind that if we do arm the teachers, there are probably going to be a few teachers out there that are a couple of fries short of a Happy Meal, if you know what I mean. How will we answer to that when the inevitable happens? Some smart aleck kid pops off in class, says something rude to the teacher, and the teacher, who's been taking this crap for 15 years, just can't take it anymore. It's the ultimate fingernail on the chalkboard. He spins around and blows the kid away. Well, that's 1 and not 14, yeah. So, but who's to say he doesn't take the rest of the room hostage, right? I understand. There's two sides to the argument. Armed educators and trusted people who work within a school love our students and will protect them, Trump tweeted. Yeah. Very smart people, must be firearms adept and have annual training, should get yearly bonus. Shootings will not happen again. A big and very inexpensive deterrent up to the individual states. Trump argued Friday for his proposal to arm some teachers, arguing that simply placing armed officers in schools wouldn't work because they don't love the children the same way. Yeah, well, we also know that some teachers have loved the children a little too much. You know what I mean? At Monday's meeting with governors, Trump reiterated his commitment to get rid of bump stocks, with or without congressional help. I don't care if Congress doesn't act, he said. I'll buy them all up myself. No, he didn't say that. He said we're getting rid of it. Trump also praised the National Rifle Association during the meeting. Even though the NRA diverges with him on several gun safety measures that he has proposed, he said he had a positive lunch with key members of the group over the weekend. Don't worry about the NRA, he told those in attendance. They're on our side. Now, this is just a rumor, but Trump reportedly told friends he wants to execute every drug dealer in America. You really think he said that? I'd say he didn't. I mean, it could have been, like one of these casual statements that you don't really mean. Harvey Weinstein's film studio is going to file for bankruptcy following the allegations of his sexual misconduct over the years. The author of Fire and Fury, Michael Wolff, promptly ended a live TV interview after a question about his claims that Trump is having an affair. Now, why would he do that? The author of Fire and Fury Inside the Trump White House walked off an interview with an Australian breakfast television program on Sunday after being questioned over his claims U.S. President Donald Trump was having an ongoing affair. Michael Wolff, who wrote the best-selling expose of Trump's administration and his presidency, was almost 5 minutes into the interview when the Today Show interviewer Ben Fordham asked Wolff about the claims. You said during a TV interview just last month that you are absolutely sure Donald Trump is currently, okay, now this is currently, while in office, having an affair behind the back of the First Lady. I repeat, you said you were absolutely sure, Fordham said. Just last week, however, you backflipped. Now, he wrote a book making this accusation. But last week, you backflipped and said, I quote, I do not know if the president is having an affair. Do you owe the president and the First Lady an apology, Mr. Wolff? Despite trying to interrupt, Wolff began complaining of technical difficulties and finally responded by saying, I can't hear you. Fordham repeated his question, this time louder. Wolff tried to get the help of a crew member from the set he was on in London, saying, I'm not getting anything. When Fordham asked, You're not hearing me, Mr. Wolff? The author said, No, I'm not getting anything. Oh, me. Once the live cross ended, Fordham's co-host, Georgie Gardner, said, "Gee, that was an unfortunate question to miss, wasn't it?" Fordham replied, "I think he may have heard it." You think? Later, the show revisited the footage for the UK studio and found the audio to be coming through, wait for it, clearly. Fordham's line of questioning related to comments Wolf made last month in which he strongly implied the president was having an affair with the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley. The claim was denied by Haley, who called it highly offensive and disgusting. Last week, Wolf backed away from the idea, telling a Dutch TV show, "I do not know if the president is having an affair." Best-selling book, Trashing Trump, and he's not sure. That's the world we live in today. Joan comments from the chat box, "It's worse than all that, Dwayne. They've colluded for years in Broward to change juvenile crime statistics. Lots of corruption down there." And she did provide us with a link, which I can put in the chat box for the benefit of everyone, for anyone that wants to check out exactly what she's talking about. And it is in the chat box now. There we go. Now, there's more, but wait, there's more. Safest city in Broward County was awarded to that city. Over time, these policies culminated in police officers falsifying documents, hiding criminal reports, and even hiding stolen merchandise police retrieved from high school students. Wow. That's quite something. I've not heard all of that. Thanks for sharing that, Joan. I do appreciate it very, very much. Oh, you live in Florida. Okay, very good. Now, I am keeping everyone up to date on the CT Global token here. Okay. Now, you'll never remember all this, so all you have to remember is emini.cfrn.net. emini.cfrn.net. Okie doke. Now, we are this week launching a Slack channel for CT Global token owners. This will be a private discussion group open only to token holders. We will continue to update the general public on our different sites, here on the Google Plus blog, here on the radio show. But this will just be a private place for those who have a skin in the game to come and talk, and a place for the tribe to just hang out and relax. I posted this yesterday. The Ledger Nano S is in the house. Using Amazon Prime, free shipping, it arrived in 21 hours and change. I ordered it Saturday. It was delivered Sunday. My location is only 5 miles from a distribution center, so your results may vary. Price with the USB bundle, now I did this on Amazon, was $108. Make sure you do an integrity test as outlined in the previous post, even if ordering direct from the manufacturer. Think of how many hands it passes through on its way to you after it leaves the factory. Tomorrow we will video unboxing and transfer tokens from digital to hardware live. For those who chose the Trezor, please send us pictures, videos, reviews, etc. to share with the community. Now, even though I was on Amazon, the company I actually bought from was Mintcell. It is the Ledger Nano S, but the factory in France is back ordered. Mintcell has them in stock. Now, over here, Get some more information. I want to get to the how do I know my Nano S has not been tampered with? For purchasing a Ledger Nano S hardware wallet from a third party such as Amazon, you may want to check the integrity of the device to make sure it has not been tampered with. Click the article below and it will walk you through the steps. Okay, just click this and bang, it'll take you to this page and it gives you steps. Now be careful, read the steps very carefully. You know, it says up here, for advanced hardware savvy users only, but I read through it and I think as long as you're careful, you'll be okay. All right. I read reviews from people who said that they ordered theirs from all kinds of different places, and when it showed up, they could tell it had been tampered with. There was like fingerprints on it. It wasn't in the original packaging. All sorts of things. So when yours shows up, if it's obviously tampered with, don't even do the integrity test. Just send it back. Amazon's really good about returns. Okay, just all you got to say is, I can tell this has been tampered with. Send it back. They'll ship you a new one. Okay. So all the updates about everything going on with the CT Global token, it's on emini.cfrn.net. We had a lot of addresses. Now, if you go back to Friday, we had at best 50% of the addresses of people who participated in the pre-sale. Over the weekend, we had quite a few more come in, but I'm pretty sure we're not yet at 100%. Okay. After I put that video up, I even had people sending me in their wallet addresses. They created a wallet just like I said in the video, and they sent in their address, and the name was not familiar at all. And I emailed, what name did you send your payment in under? Oh, I didn't send any payment. I just made a wallet like you said. Okay. You have to have participated in the pre-sale in order for this, you know, for us to transfer your tokens. All right, all right. Could you post the link for the integrity test? Sorry, walked away from the computer, but heard your voice, missing what was on the screen. Kurt, if you go to, yeah, I can post it, sure. I'll put it in the chat box. But it's at, everything I just talked about is at emini.cfrn.net. But that is the direct link to the integrity test. Okay? Read it carefully, and if you're not comfortable doing it, maybe you know someone who is a little more computer savvy than you are who might do it for you. All right? All right. Okay. John, make it. Yeah, there's John. Hey, John, welcome to the show.
Hello there. Thanks for the invite.
I did not. How long you been there? You been there long?
No, I just heard about 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
yeah. Anytime you want, you can always jingle my phone, and I'll go right to you.
Thanks very much.
Okay.
Okay. Hope everybody had a nice weekend. The Olympics closing was quite impressive, I guess. And there's a lot of stuff that went on. You know, this whole political thing is a real mess. I just hope it gets resolved soon, because it's, by the way, did you know that CNN's ratings are down 27% from a year ago?
No, I did not.
And they're obviously not getting the memo, you know. The people, less and less people want to watch them because they're just so tired of all the drivel that comes out all the time. And it's depressing, to tell you the truth. Scaramucci was on this New Revolution show last night, and he, you know, with all due respect to Trump, you know, he's got a point about winning the election, and then people, you know, they lose the next because they don't put the same amount of effort in. I disagree with it. Look, there is that syndrome's part of it. But as Scaramucci was saying, the big difference that's going on today is for the first time in decades, and literally in decades, wages are actually rising and people are doing better. And, Trump has created 2.5 million jobs, but he's got a lot of people on. Oh, I knew what I was going to bring up. This CNN, the audacity of them. Look, I mean, I'm just telling you the facts. And you know what what they call the definition of insane is? Doing the same thing over and over. Right. I mean, they're doing it. I mean, they got their own poll, and if it's obviously biased because this is the same poll that never saw Trump winning the election. I'm telling you, it is categorically a fact. Look, it's just like a room full of analysts. 17 if you've got 20 analysts in a room, 17 are usually wrong and 3 are right. And it's the same with polls. There were 20 polls, and 17 were wrong, and 3 were right. And the 3 that were right were the Rasmussen poll, which was deadly accurate. That's what tipped me and you probably that Trump was going to win. The LA Times poll happened to get it right, and the IBD, the Inter Business Daily poll, got it right. I mean, this is like so. I mean, I can't believe that Rasmussen. He tweeted him a few times. I said, what's the matter with you? You should be promoting your poll as the, what you call it, the flagship. The leader poll, the only poll to watch. It is the only poll worth watching today because it's the only one that's right. And I mean, listen, I think the Democrats can put their heads in the sand all day long as far as I'm concerned. If they want to adore the CNN poll, I know Dan Rather comes on last night, if Trump goes below 30%, he's curtains. Listen, that's never going to happen with this guy. And the real story is, look, Trump has a hidden 10% additional support. And he's actually building on it, because he's certainly, if you're a vet and you're unhappy with Trump, there's something wrong, because he's certainly gone out of his way to take care of vets. There's no question about that. Right. So he's got most of the military and most of the vets and the police and everybody behind him. That's a in a way that's probably never happened before. He's got the Border Patrol behind him. He's got the whole military industrial complex behind him.
That's good.
He's got all the people he's created jobs for, right? So you count those up. He's probably swung 5 or 10 million over to him. Now then, you got the tax cuts start to kick in and everything else. So Scaramucci's got a point. He said something about since 1880 there's never been a situation like right now. But the real story, which we talked about on this show a year ago or more, is we were going down the tubes fast. At the ending days of the Obama administration. But as I have pointed out to many people, to all of our listeners, the market has a way of anticipating, and listen, nobody on Capitol Hill understands this, because they don't have a financial aptitude to get their arms around what's going on in the real world. But I mean, the market. There were 3 reasons why the market went up in 2016, in 2015 actually. Trump announced he was running in June or July 2015, and then and the market was had some heart attacks. Had that correction in August, had the 1,000-point drop in August the 24th, and then it sort of jerked around a while, and then it had a low on September the 28th or 29th. Trump came out and announced his tax plan. And that's the day we called the bottom. And we said the Dow was going to go up 2,000 points into Christmas. And that's exactly what happened, because the market went for Trump's tax cut. And remember, when Trump came on the field, he was always in the center. I mean, he led from the start. He never yielded. I mean, I think once Ben Carson overtook him very briefly, but he was basically the leading candidate all the way. And the market liked that. The market was anticipating that. Now, then we had this real severe correction in 2016, the first couple of months, which we're kind of going through a little bit of that with this crash that happened in early February, and there's more to come. After this rally that's going on right now, I'll get onto that in a minute. But we're sort of seeing the same symptoms, i.e., the gold stocks got knocked down. They get thrown out with the bathwater and this is very important to get your arms around this, because what happened in 2016, in early 2016, was the gold, the stocks, gold, everything went down in the first sell-off, in the first wave down, right? The first month. And then, but in the second one, gold didn't. It bottomed, and it started going up when the second stock wave went down. That is what we began to see on Friday, when the gold stocks bottomed and all made key reversals. And then last night, the gold popped from about, it got down to 13.29, I think 28 and a half, somewhere like that. We put a buy stop at 13.30, and on the silver got in pretty near the lows. And next thing you know, there's this big rally into early 3 or 4 o'clock this morning. And we decided to put some stops in, and I said there was a pullback coming, and believe it or not, the market came all the way back down to 32 this morning, and the silver came back in as well. And we're not out of the woods yet. The gold stocks, which opened higher, are kind of selling off today, so we may not have done enough work to turn these metal stocks higher just yet. But I was definitely encouraged by the action on Friday, which we participated in partly, and because it got pretty wild right after the show. I said, as a matter of fact, everything that we thought was going to happen on Thursday, that we said, kind of happened on Friday, where we had this tremendously strong finish, which continued today, and so far is looking very good. Although it stumbled a little bit after the open, which we expected, because it stumbled a bit last night. First the market stumbled a bit before it kind of got going again, which we also kind of got in and out of. We actually went long several stocks going into the close on Friday, where I decided to buy Intercept. It jumped about $1,000 per contract this morning, or per 1,000 shares. So we took it out near the highs. We also were in GILD and also Maxim, which we sold near the highs as well, and then rebought. The Maxim's been acting better, but I'm bothered by the way it's acting, because it seems to be joined at the hip with Nvidia, and Nvidia is not acting very well right now, which is also a little bit of a thing to be keeping an eye on. We kind of written off Intercept because it's after a higher opening, it's kind of going down now, so we're actually short. But the rest of the indices are doing very well. As we said, next week could be a really strong week, and actually I'm glad that we're not kind of screaming higher like we did on late Friday, because that might have created too much of a high euphoria kind of thing that might have sold off. How we finish the day today is very important, because as long as we maintain the strength, I think we're going to go into tomorrow, possibly into Wednesday, but then there's the GDP coming out and a few other things. And actually one of the problems that's starting to unfold is we had this big rally in bonds from about 142 up to 144, nearly 145, and now they're coming off again. And actually if you look at the dollar and the bonds themselves, they look very, very, very bearish indeed. And even though there's been a bit of a rebound in the dollar today, boy, if we start breaking down sort of 88 and a half again, and I think if the bonds start threatening the low end of this range, we're going down to about 139, maybe even 136, 135, and that's probably gonna be the next wave down in the market. And by the way, I think we're on an ABC wave formation, right? So in other words, the rally rather. We've had wave 1 down, which was a corrective wave, and now we've got this B wave going up, which in some respects is very good, because if the B wave goes to a new high, in other words, if we actually get up to a new high before the end of the week, which we could do, it's very, very bullish for the market after the C wave. Now, the C wave is probably going to come sometime in March, and it's probably going to be worse than the A wave. So, we might end up crashing, a couple of thousand points in a day or something. So we better be prepared for that. But beyond that, we're probably going into some sort of a fifth wave, which is going to be a ripper. It's going to be just an unbelievable rally when it comes. So it's going to be very exciting, and it's going to be very volatile. And the VIX needs to be kept in mind. The VIX actually looks like it's coming down, possibly lower. They've kind of got to get the VIX back to a less volatility level, and just on a measured move basis. Let's see, 10. We've got to go down to about 35, 35 on the VXX. That's probably about where it'll get to. Not much more. It might get to 32, possibly 30, somewhere in the low 30s. After that, oh my God, this VIX, Jesus, it could go to 100. I mean, it could certainly go to the 70s. And so there's more trouble ahead beyond this run, I believe. And something out there is going to make it happen. After this so-called peace deal with North Korea suddenly evaporated, and now they say they're not going to talk to us for 200 years.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that.
They're probably going to start firing off rockets and things again. So, but going back to the 16 situation, we had this correction at the beginning of 16. And then when Trump won New Hampshire, they say Iowa picks corn, New Hampshire picks presidents. That was really the beginning of the second big rally in the market, with another couple of thousand points. And really after that, the market's been going higher. But we were not only going higher because of Trump, but we were also going higher because of the potential of a third Obama term, in a way. Because that was continuity, which was positive. And we were also going up because, I forget the third reason, but anyway, there were three reasons why we were going. Oh, I know what it was, because the previous year had been such a terrible year. The third year of an election should be a very big year, like a 50%er. And it wasn't. It was a dud. And we were, in my view, we were making up for that. We were kind of catching up with where we should be in a second term. So, the rest of it. So when Trump won, we had the November night correction, and then after that, the market went absolutely crazy, and it's gone crazy because Trump saved the country from going down the tubes. Yep. Because if we had not, this is the first time in eons, literally in eons, it's the first time that a new incoming administration has got off with such a bang, had such a meteoric rise, and the economy has taken off. Now, the reason I'm saying how this is so important, because if we had gone the other way, and if Hillary had won or something, or this hadn't happened, we'd be in a recession by now, and we'd be printing another 10 trillion or 20 trillion trying to get out of it, and we'd be going into a death spiral, and gold would probably be several $1,000s already. So that's the difference. That's why we're in what we're in. Because the whole world is in this synchronized growth stage, and it's really doing a lot of good to everybody, because it's certainly getting the debt under control to a large extent. You look at the cost of $1 trillion here or $1 trillion there. It's better than 10 or 20 trillion. That's really the big story. If an extra trillion, to take care of all these issues is spent,
Right.
It's minor. It's just it's a rounding error in the large, rather than, but if it's 10 or 20 trillion, we're really in trouble. We're going to have a hyperinflationary ending, and we still could have in years to come. But this has certainly postponed it, and the revenues should be pretty substantial. So the revenue might be the big surprise because, and Trump is certainly looking to cut a lot of waste out of the government, and he's going to do that over time. And just in the same way as nobody, in the beginning of the Clinton administration, nobody saw a balanced budget by the end of it, except us, who were very much ahead of the curve. We saw this coming a long time before anybody else, and we wrote about it. And you know what? The same thing could start to happen here with the Trump administration. And I got to tell you, if they take down if the debt falls to 19 trillion or goes back below 20, the market is going to go crazy. The market's going to really love that, and that's what happened towards the end of the 90s. So there's a lot of good things going on, and so, but the biggest story is this: because we are where we are, and because the economy is as strong as it is, and is unlikely to fail, to go into any kind of recession before the 18s, means that the chances of carrying 18 are very, very strong for the Republicans, possibly even shocking the world by increasing their majority. And this should, listen, even if the Fed get rates up to probably 4 or 5% in the next year or so, which could happen, and then the economy gets a bit soft in 19 before the election, they could start lowering rates and get another business cycle going that just coincides with a perfect 2020 scenario. So it certainly looks extremely good, and we've talked about this a lot because if Trump gets a second term, this market's going to keep going up till 2021 or 2022 probably, before it gets into trouble. After 22, then a lot of things could go wrong. But really, the potential of this is a dream era. This is going to be a great year. Now, over the weekend, the Louise Yamada came out with a thing about how rising interest rates, saying, it's like death drum beats, saying, this is the end of a 30-year bull market in bonds, and it's bad because it's worrisome. There's nothing worrisome about it. The last time, you and I know this about a lot, Dwayne, because remember when in 2005 to 7 and interest rates were going up, and I said they're going all the way back to zero, and you were totally shocked. You were totally shocked when I said that. And I reminded you that, when you get these bond bull markets, they tend to end by going down and sideways for a long, long time, for 10 or 15 years. And that's exactly what's happened. But, when that's over, then you get a whole new cycle. And guess where we are on that cycle? As Louise Yamada said, we're in 1946, sort of after World War, we kind of, after World War II. And what happened after World War II? We had a post-war boom, right? We had the 50s and 60s. And you go back to the 50s, you know how much the market went up in the 50s? I mean, it was up 400 or 500% in the 50s, the market.
Really? So,
yeah, it's absolutely staggering. So, and the market started rallying from 1942. And, it really went up all the way into 1973. So, we've got a dream period ahead of us of industrial production and worldwide, and it's going to drive interest rates higher, and it's going to be a very positive cycle. Now, look, it does make the market potentially more risky because there's more reason to sell stocks when that happens. But if we're going to repeat this sort of 50s, 60s, 70s cycle, including what I call the space race 2.0, which is we're sort of, whether we're in the 50s now and going into the 60s, the space race, the next generation of space is going to be gigantic. And, the era of flying cars and all kinds of incredible things are just around the corner. So it's a great time to be alive. And
Amen.
We should be happy about everything that's going on today, and we should be embracing it. So it's but we've got to keep our heads about this, because the fangs, Amazon, you did get back to a new high over 1,500, is starting to stumble a little bit. Netflix also went to a new high. The drug stocks are not cutting it today. They're having a problem trying to go up. So, and this could all unravel very, very, very quickly. Something could come out of the left field, and this thing could just reverse in a heartbeat. And that could happen before the end of this week, because the timeline, we had a blistering week rally, right? Friday to Friday. And then we had a week's pullback, and we just started the new rally, and honest to God, before the end of the week, it might be over. So you've got to really, really be ready. Look, we could have a couple of multi-hundred point up days like we're having today still. That could potentially get the VIX down to 35 or so. But once that VIX gets down into the low 30s, you've got to be thinking about taking an insurance policy out in the next few weeks, and hopefully making a lot of money at the same time. So that's the plan, and just be ready for it.
All right. Well, thank you, John.
Oh yeah, just quickly. Look, the grains. One of the reasons why the gold went up last night was I was waiting around for the grains to open, and they gapped higher. So we actually went to a new contract high on the beans, but we didn't see any follow through today. We actually put sell stops in on all the grains, and so they are going down today. We also, by the way, the cocoa pullback during this morning, and we put a rebuy on the cocoa, and it's back at a new high, looking very good. The cotton is also looking pretty strong. Lumber's holding in, and but you know what? The gold might be in a bit of trouble here still. So I think you got to be the stocks. There might be a few more days of it in the gold, and and if we do get a sell-off in the market, the gold might get hit as well. So just be ready. It may not be time to pull the trigger just yet, but it's definitely a trading market. Look, we had a $10 rally, $11, $12 rally last night. That was pretty profitable. A sell-off back down, also a good trade, because it happened pretty quick. So that's kind of it. But you can tell right now the Nasdaq's having a little bit of trouble here, being up 60. I don't honestly expect this to be a runaway day to the upside. If anything, it might be the opposite, and you got to be extremely careful of a late sell-off today. That could be the death. Could be an earlier end to what's coming than we know. But the GDP coming out is going to be a big deal. And I can't say for sure what's going to be, but it might be some sort of surprise.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, John. Have a great day.
Bye. Yep.
Okay, let me close out his mic. There we go. Live radio trade. Consider selling gold at 13.31 on a stop. Target. $13.22. Your stop, it's going to depend upon what happens here. And of course, this is a 30-minute. You can drop down to a 5-minute. Ideally, you don't want to risk more than $300 per contract, except in an extenuating circumstance. Now, it's possible that this trade You know what? I'm going to do this. Here we go. 31 to 29. It's $200 per contract move. Of course, the bigger move. All right. So manage your risk accordingly, exactly as we teach you. Okay. There we go. All right. Good word for the day. Rules of engagement. A gentle answer deflects anger, but harsh words make tempers flare. Proverbs 15:1. Even in the best of marriages, arguments will arise from time to time. With two people of differing temperaments, taste, and ways of thinking, how could it be otherwise, right? So just because you and your wife argue occasionally, or you and your husband, doesn't make you bad, it makes you human. So here's a few wise rules of engagement. Number 1, think before you speak. Ask yourself if fear, stress, or worry may have provoked your mate's response. Is it bothering you right now because you're feeling insecure and unappreciated? Could you be misreading or exaggerating the problem? Take time to try and identify what's really going on. Number 2, ask for what you need. It's okay to admit that some days you are needier than others. When a woman feels panicked every time her husband comes home late because her father did the same and was having an affair, it's okay to say, I know it's irrational, but I'm having a panicky day. That kind of honesty actually strengthens a relationship. Unless he is having an affair. 3, never threaten. Threats just make your mate defensive and insecure. As a result, they can't hear what you're saying, and nothing gets resolved. Number 4, ditch the baggage from previous relationships. The Bible says, love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. 1 Corinthians 13:7. It is wrong to make your mate keep proving themselves over and over again. Don't assume that old relationship problems are destined to keep repeating themselves in your current relationship. If you're communicating and growing, they won't. And finally, number 5, say something nice to your spouse every single day. Anytime you think something good about your spouse, stop and tell them, honey, you look good. Honey, that tastes great. I can't believe how nice the house is, or how big your paycheck is, or whatever. You get the point? If you think it, say it. And when they reciprocate, respond graciously to what they're saying. Remember, sharp words can create wounds, but a gentle answer deflects anger. And it's never a bad idea to simply say, I'm sorry, even if you don't think you did anything wrong. Blessed are the peacemakers. That's our good word for the day. That's our show for the day. Much to do, exciting times. If you have any questions, give us a call, 949-423-6464. Send your emails to support@cfrn.net. If it's regarding Christian traders and the CT Global Token, send it to support@christiantraders.com. We'll get back to you just as soon as we can. Our goal is to complete transferring tokens to all of the addresses that we received over the weekend, which will leave us with a short list of addresses that we've not received, and then we will contact those persons individually and see what's up. Maybe they're on vacation, maybe they're on a cruise, I don't know. But we need the address to transfer the tokens. Okay? Thanks so much for tuning in today. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.